Hey, I want to tell you about a couple of features we've released recently, and there's three things basically. We've got just a quality of life update for the Playhead behavior, because that was bugging me and a few people have gotten in touch, so we've sorted that out. And then the second thing is a new mode called Latch Mode, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. And the third thing is custom import and custom export of templates. So let's get into it. So here I am in the web app. I've got a track open called Wick Action, which is one of our latest releases. And the thing you might notice is over here we've got this new thing called a latch. So when you record, typically in the in the music space, what we as music producers have access to is obviously different automation modes. I'm sure that as filmmakers you've got a similar sort of thing in your NLEs, and you can add keyframes and manipulate keyframes, do things like ease in and that kind of stuff. What this is more about is kind of live automation, where it also creates keyframes to a certain extent. So to explain this, I guess it's to say that if you imagine a big mixing desk where people have these kind of faders they can move up and down, when music producers do that, we often basically can enable a kind of a write mode, which then records those fader positions over time. And within the write mode, basically we have two options or further options. We have a touch mode, where if we move a fader, it'll record that movement, but then after it's done that, it just reverts to what was there previously, so it picks up to anything that was already recorded. Or we have a latch mode. Now a latch mode is what we've emulated here, which is where the most recent movement of any input, so in our case here, one of these three sliders, will actually overwrite anything that's already in the timeline. So I'm just going to start. I've been talking a lot already, so let me just play this then. So let's see, we've got this track Wick Action, we're in the hero template. Momentum, as you can see, is doing not much to begin with, so I think that would be a good one to show you guys. It's important to leave snap off because you need free control of the sliders in real time, and then you can use latch mode. So I'm going to put latch mode on, and let's just do this. So I'm going to start recording. I say recording, it is already in record mode now by virtue of having latch on. But I mean, it always is. Once you've got the timeline active, you are essentially recording these movements, Here we go. So I'm moving the momentum, as you can see, and it's moving the live currently selected block. And I say selected, it's not selected, it's where the playhead is. But as soon as that playhead moves into the next section, then whatever I'm doing is only affecting that section. So the playhead is currently in block 1-2, and I'm able to freely move that momentum around, but as soon as I get to the next section, it's then affecting that section. So you can kind of listen to what you want and go, yeah, no, this is sweet, this is what I want for this block. Then obviously you wait until the next block comes in, and then you're like, okay, what do I want in this one? Cool. Yes, now it's done this because there's already a transition shape in this one. So it's going to move and maintain the transition shape. So if you didn't want that to happen, obviously you go ahead and just change the transitions in there. So latch mode, I think, is a really quick way to just block out your whole piece. You can then obviously revisit any block you've previously done and go, oh, okay, well, I kind of got that just about right, but I probably prefer it to be here. Then you can go back in and go, well, actually the transition from this one to this one needs a bit of work, so why don't I just change that to adding a couple of transitions, stuff like that. So that's latch mode. The other thing is we've got a kind of poor man's scrub where you can just place the playhead now and it will just show you the frame of the video where you're in, but whereas before when you place the playhead it always auto-played, which obviously is not ideal. However, we still have that, of course, if you're already if you're already playing. If I unselect this block and place the playhead anywhere else in the timeline, it will now, of course, continue playing. So that's fine. So that's the kind of standard behavior. I think now we've kind of basically replicated there. And then the third thing to talk to you guys about is just this export thing I mentioned. So basically, say I like this template and I think that it is really good for my video, because of course, this is the main reason why you're using Filmstro, presumably because you want to get your music just to be that bit more sympathetic for whatever narrative arc you might have in terms of your visual content. So say for some reason then that this is perfect for my video, and I don't want to have to, I'm working for a client and I want to show a client a couple of options. So One thing, of course, is using the versions down here to do different options of the same track. But what if I want to show the same edit with different pieces of music, but I've already put in the hard work of creating an awesome template that really works with the cut, right? What would be great is if you could then swap out the music now and just lay another piece of music here, but keep the template work. So if you hit custom export, you're basically saving to disk, you'll download this, a template, which is basically all of the information that's in this timeline here. It doesn't contain information about what track it is, so it really is agnostic. So this means that there's benefits and drawbacks to this, because it means you can open any of your templates with any track, but we can't guarantee how well that's going to work. So it's going to work really well if the BPM is similar. It's certainly going to work well if the time signature is similar. So that's why we have this information here as well. Yeah, and so by the same token, you can then do a custom import, of course, and then bring in whatever you've just created that then works really well with that edit. Bring that in once you've loaded a new piece, and yeah, you're good to go. So yeah, hope that's useful. And until next time, happy editing.